Come closer. Come closer. No, really. Come closer. Come closer. Closer. Come on, closer. You're loose. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Eugene Reviews. I am your host, Eugene, and today we are going to continue the whole line of Marvel Cinematic Universe films with the third in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is the second film in the Iron Man franchise, Iron Man 2. Now, Iron Man 2 came out May of 2010, 2 years after the release of Iron Man 1. A lot of buzz and a lot of anticipation for the second one, being first one did so well, and now we're here for a second one, and the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe is starting to unfold, and this is where we see if there's any backbone to whatever this universe they're creating has. I saw this film, it was on a Monday, I think. I saw this on a random Monday in theaters, like after school, or I probably skipped school. I don't know. Saw this film once in theaters, and yeah, that's my basic intro to this. But before we continue, I'm gonna need to swivel this before we get into the nitty-gritty. This video is not sponsored by El Segundo Brewing Company, nor is it sponsored by Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA. But cheers. Give me a hell yeah. Wow, that'll put lead in your pencil. Act 1. Act 1, development. Iron Man 2, take 1. So once again, Iron Man came out May of 2010, 2 years after the first Iron Man, and let's just say there was a lot of anticipation for this because, of course, Iron Man came out, the whole buzz about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, oh, they're gonna make an Avengers film down the road, and you know, what more can we expect from Iron Man 2? Can it live up to the hype? So much anticipation, so much expectations. Bigger and better things were almost near guaranteed, if anything. Everybody came back for this film. Jon Favreau still directing, Robert Downey Jr. still directing, Gwyneth Paltrow is still in the film. Wrong. Not him. So the story is, Terrence Howard was not reprised for the role of James Rhodes come Iron Man 2 because of some contract disputes, some money disputes. That's at least what the story's been told after all these years after the release of the film, and was replaced by Academy Award nominee Don Cheadle, who you've known from Hotel Rwanda, from the Ocean Trilogy, from various other different films. So in the writing of this film, they were basing this story off of one of Iron Man's most notorious storylines in comics, which was called Demon in a Bottle. If you haven't heard of Demon in a Bottle, I suggest you read that comic book, especially if you're a Marvel fan, if you're an Iron Man fan, if you want to know really the backstory of Tony Stark. That's the perfect overall arc to kind of take a look at to get really a grasp of what they were trying to nail with Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 doesn't take the entirety of the storyline of Demon in a Bottle to play, rather bits and pieces. They've kind of left out the alcoholism part of it, but you still see Tony kind of going through a midlife crisis in handling everything that's been put on his plate. Writer Justin Theroux was at the helm of writing Iron Man 2, and he was actually recommended by Robert Downey Jr. because he wrote Tropic Thunder, which, if you remember, Robert Downey Jr. played a part in that film and was nominated for that film in 2008. And if you've seen Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, this is him.
Give us the rings.
Give us the rings. That's the guy writing this movie. Shane Black, who would go on later on to direct Iron Man 3, told director of Iron Man 1 and 2, Jon Favreau, to base Tony Stark in this film from J. Robert Oppenheimer, who was the mastermind for the Manhattan Project, which was the atomic bomb. So a lot to kind of divulge in when it comes to the development of this. You've got the anticipation for it because of the fact that Iron Man really hit it out of the park and the whole laying down of the foundation for the MCU. Contract disputes left and right, whether it be from Terrence Howard or Mickey Rourke or Samuel L. Jackson. And then you've got Justin Theroux coming in to write the film, as well as Iron Man being based on J. Robert Oppenheimer. And then most of all, the Demon in the Bottle story arc that was loosely portrayed in Iron Man 2. Act 2, Execution. Iron Man 2, take 2. This is take 1. So Iron Man 2, let's just be frank, it wasn't as good as Iron Man 1. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. You've got Robert Downey Jr. being the best Tony Stark that he can be. He was fun, he was loose, you see a lot more of the fun side to Tony in this film. If anything, he was the strongest of the characters in this film. There was some good action to be had, some good effects here and there. There was a good introduction to some new characters as well, such as Natalie Rushman, aka Natasha Romanoff, aka Scarlett Johansson, aka Scarlett. You've got 2 Academy Award nominated actors in this film that were added. Academy Award nominated actor Sam Rockwell, playing Justin Hammer of Hammer Industries, which is kind of the nemesis or the rival to Stark Industries company and advancement. And then you've got recently Academy Award nominated actor Mickey Rourke, coming fresh off his role from The Wrestler, playing Ivan Vanko, Whiplash, which is the main villain in this film. Yeah, that guy. It's not that it's not good, it's disappointing. Let's just say that. It's disappointing in that I felt there were so many opportunities to be had, to be executed, to be taken advantage of in this film, that were just kind of went over the head. I just felt that it was more flash than fire. So style over substance. It looked good, but there's no depth to it. It's not as deep and meaningful as the first Iron Man film. It's fun, but there isn't really anything kind of to latch on, other than the fact you have Black Widow, who you're gonna see in future Marvel films. And you see more of Nick Fury, but other than that, it's a fun, very kind of stylish sequel, if you will. There's some cool action here and there, but it's not necessarily the best, especially when you did such a great job on the very first film. And now this second film, you've just kind of wet the bed. And then I think what will become a trend, because you saw it in The Incredible Hulk, the lackluster villain. Whiplash was not a good villain. Poorly written. It felt almost parody-like. It just felt laughable sometimes. It's like, really, this guy is your villain? This guy's the villain? Yeah, it's just like you really felt he wasn't a threat. He's not a threat. He doesn't feel threatening, he doesn't look threatening. Yeah, he's got tattoos. Yeah, Mickey Rourke looks badass on paper, but when you put that Russian accent on him, it's just like, okay, he's just like, he's really trying to be a villain. I took a swivel of beer, and even I can see that was really kind of reaching. Like I said, Iron Man 2 on paper looks good. It's good, but it's not better, and we want better. Especially when you did such a great job with Iron Man, and you really have to kind of one-up that. You really have to build upon that. And you had so many opportunities, but none were taken advantage of. It's not that it's bad. It's not bad at all. It's not terrible. It's not hot garbage. It's not even, the worst of the Marvel films. It's just, it's disappointing. You could have done so much with it, but you chose not to. I had fun watching it. It was nice seeing it. It was nice seeing Robert Downey Jr. really expand on his role of being Tony Stark. It was nice seeing Scarlett. It was nice seeing Don Cheadle too. Don Cheadle, who also is an Academy Award nominated actor, playing James Rhodes, who would now become War Machine. And the chemistry was actually on point too. You can see Don Cheadle and Robert Downey Jr. really kind of click in this film, compared to Robert Downey Jr. with Terrence Howard in the first film. So Don Cheadle was a good addition to this film. I will say the best addition to this, especially in this film, was Sam Rockwell. He was so, outrageously quirky. He was full of himself sometimes, but that was fun. It was funny, and Sam Rockwell is a well-rounded actor. And since then, I've looked at him as being one of the top actors in the business. Since then, he's actually won an Academy Award. And yeah, seeing him play Justin Hammer, that's probably one of the more memorable parts of that film, other than some of the action and some of the cool gadgets and stuff like that. But Sam Rockwell kind of takes the cake, in my opinion. But overall, film was good. It's not better, it's good, but it's just disappointing that it didn't take any risks or really kind of dive in more than you would anticipate. Lackluster villains, which would become a trend going forward, just the missed opportunities that I felt like they should have executed on. And then of course, Tony Stark. Robert Downey Jr. being Tony Stark. What more can you ask for? Act 3, response. Iron Man 2, take 1. I guess the general consensus agrees with me, or I agree with the general consensus, whatever you want to say, that Iron Man 2 was good, but it wasn't great and it wasn't better than the first film. Even though the film did a little bit more better than the first film, if I'm not mistaken, it made $30 million more than the first film. Even though it made more money, it's still kind of looked at as, it's just, yeah, it could have done better. Overall, there's really nothing more to kind of dive in regards to the response of this film. A lot of people, if you ask 9 out of 10 people, they will put Iron Man 2 towards the bottom of the MCU list. It's still a good movie, but in the standards of MCU films, it's not really the best. You can name at least the second half of the MCU films higher than Iron Man 2. Whatever was very fascinating and groundbreaking, excelling in Iron Man was really dwindled down, watered down, and just meddled in with Iron Man 2. Let's just say this. If you're watching just this on a Saturday evening, you wouldn't mind watching it. But if you're watching the marathon of MCU films, you might sleep this one off. I'm not sure. To each their own. For me, it's a fun film. I liked it, but it just could have done so much more. It really could have. Let's put all that aside and let's go straight to the verdict. Even though, no, I'm not buzzed. I'm not buzzed. Not buzzed. My verdict for Iron Man 2 is no. Iron Man 2 is good. Iron Man 2 excels in points where you knew it was going to excel. The performance from Robert Downey Jr., the kind of action and fun layout, but where you saw that there could have been an opportunity to really kind of showcase and kind of come out of the box. It just felt it was very secluded and didn't have that room to expand. And for that, it just felt a little disappointing. Once again, it's not a bad film, but it's disappointing that it could have been a great film. The box office performance, Robert Downey Jr.'s performance, everybody else's performance, all these put into consideration, I believe that Iron Man 2 is good. And I will give Iron Man 2 a 7 out of 10. And as we're keeping up with the whole MCU films, we had Iron Man and then Incredible Hulk. Even though Iron Man 2 was disappointing, it was still good, and I will give it an edge over the Incredible Hulk. So if you're keeping up, Iron Man number 1 is at the top, Iron Man 2 is in the middle, and then below that is the Incredible Hulk. So that's my verdict on Iron Man 2. Do y'all agree with me? Is the alcohol talking? Am I slurring my words? If so, put your comments in the comment bars below. Like, share, subscribe, and I will keep continuing to do these MCU films as we go along. If you are keeping up with it, we just did Iron Man 2, so that means we're going to be doing The God of Thunder in the next MCU review film. Can't wait to showcase what I have in store for everybody, and thanks for the support. I'm having fun with this, especially now that I'm doing something stupid like drinking. Thanks for all the support. Love y'all. Stay safe out there. Once again, continue to practice social distancing, wash your hands, be healthy, stay healthy, and we can get through this. Even though it feels like it's coming back, we can fight it off again. So let's be patient, let's be diligent, and let's be safe, not just for ourselves, but for one another. All right, and that is a wrap. You wanna know how basic I am? You see this, but you don't see this. These are my notes, because what do you expect? I had to chug a full beer. I'm not gonna remember everything.